Hello, this is Alucard, and here is some interesting monster trivia regarding the version of Carmilla featured in the animated film Vampirehunterd D, Bloodlust. A bit of correction to Marvelous Anime's episode regarding the animated version of Carmilla from the animated 2000 horror film. Overall, in spite of some errors, Marvelous Anime as a channel has many interesting episodes regarding anime monsters and characters, and I recommend his channel. Now let's begin. A first correction I will make here regarding Carmilla is that she was not a concept of Hideyuki Kikuchi, like the original novel and comic or manga of Demon Death Chase. She was a product of the screenwriter Yoshiaki Kawajiri for the animated film, and the 2000 Vampirehunterd D video game heavily inspired by the animated film. She was placed into the adaptation as a way of keeping the sacred ancestor, or Count Dracula, more elusive as a mysterious arch-villain, along with adding an additional antagonist to the film adaptation, along with Meyer Link. A second correction is that nothing in the film suggests that in spite of the long relationship as a count and countess that the Vampirehunterd D Carmilla had with Count Dracula, that either of them were strictly monogamous. Similar to real-life nobilities, there could have been affairs outside of their relationship with infidelity on both the side of the Count and the Bloody Countess. In fact, it's totally possible that Vampirehunterd D's mother, Mina, could have been the result of Dracula having an affair or simply having Mina as his concubine. The portrayal of Count Dracula in numerous horror media portray him as very much polygamous, having his own harem of female vampires whom he is intimate with. Even in the novels and films, Bram Stoker's Dracula had no problem having relationships with Mina's friend Lucy, even when Dracula chased after Mina for resemblance to his dead wife in the 1992 film adaptation. Even Dracula in spin-off materials like Castlevania has had no issue collecting groups of women, like in Rondo of Blood to make them his harem, or the implications in Symphony of the Night, where the succubus is acquainted with Dracula's scent. Either way, Dracula in his fictional horror presentations generally doesn't settle for only one partner. Carmilla in the Vampirehunterd D animated film canon possibly also had her own affairs on the side as well, male and or female. After all, with their relationship being for political purposes, as well as vampires being unaffected by even venereal diseases or other potential dangers to ordinary humans regarding infidelity. Even more, what are the chances of a half-breed being formidable enough to eliminate a vampire countess with almost godlike powers? In short, while many vampire horror fans may not like the idea of vampires being unfaithful or not monogamous, the portrayal, especially with the numerous portrayals of Count Dracula, portray him as quite a pimp and a player. In short, there's no reason why the Bloody Countess and sacred ancestor of the animated film were not having affairs on the side while having their own relationship for the sake of political power and prestige. The animated Carmilla in Vampirehunterd D draws some inspiration from the historical figure of Elizabeth Bathory. The first part is her relationship to Vampirehunterd D's father, the sacred ancestor. The real-life Elizabeth Bathory was the wife of the Hungarian Count Ferenc Nadasdy, who, like Vlad the Impaler in Wallachia, who inspired Dracula and the sacred ancestor, commanded his war own against the Ottoman Turks. She and the Count had 4 daughters together. Years after the death of her husband in 1604, in 1610 charges arose that she had tortured, mutilated, and even murdered many young girls and women. Her sentence became that she was to spend her life in house arrest in her castle of Cheta, where she remained without permission to leave alive from her initial internment in 1611 until her death on August 21st, 1614. The lifelong house arrest of the historical Countess appears to be the inspiration for the animated Carmilla, as her immense powers and spirit are apparently linked to her own castle, which is a type of prison for the Bloody Countess in her spirit form, when she does not yet possess an active body of flesh due to her attempted murder by the sacred ancestor, or Dracula. Additionally, the attempted murder by Dracula appears to be inspired by the prosecution by other nobles, such as Georgi Thurzo, of committing many murders, leading to her house arrest, as the attempted murder by Dracula was done out of disgust for her gluttony and cruelty. All in all, the animated film draws inspiration in several ways from the historical figure. Regardless, Carmilla in the animated film is an extremely formidable enemy with her vast psychokinetic and telepathic powers without a body, manipulating various objects within her own castle, or even capable of controlling blood itself in or outside of a person's body, in or out of her body of flesh, make her among the most disgusting and horrifying enemies of the half-vampire hunter himself. At the end of the day, I want to commend the various horror and monster fans for their contributions to the horror genre here on YouTube. I also want to say thanks to Stock, Dracula Tepes, The Traveler, Chaos Nova, Cherryful, and Simon Alucard Belmont for inspiring me to pursue more monster content on YouTube. I wish to say, dear audience, that until we meet again, farewell.